Scott, what happened? Break it down.
So we can unpack this in two different ways. One, he's asking the Supreme Court to hear his appeal from the D.C. Circuit Court. Judge Chunkins, the federal district court judge, said if you ask for en banc in her order staying the action for the appeals to run their course, if you ask for en banc, which is all 8 or 9 justices or judges at the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, then the case goes back on the calendar in the federal district court. So Trump is asking for two things. One, hear my appeal, but also stay the Judge Chunkins' order so I can go to an en banc decision by the D.C. Circuit. He wants to do that because this is all about delay. If Supreme Court stays it, then he can go en banc. That takes time, and then it'll go up to the Supreme Court. Some of these investigations are not only attorney-client privilege, but they could also just be confidential because it's investigative work to reach a conclusion. It'll be up to that special prosecutor. What'll be interesting to watch, though, is if the elected officials, the Republicans who you just named, if the special prosecutor won't turn it over, are they willing to go to court to get the court to order them to turn over the transcripts? So
I'm sure what does it tell you? That, so they're also talking with Robert Hur about having him, the special prosecutor, about having him come up to Capitol Hill and testify. So does that suggest some level of cooperation or not necessarily connecting the dots there?
No, not cooperation per se. You got to be careful because the Republicans they don't want to overplay their hand because was the special prosecutor was he in the room when he heard this, or was he just being reported? This was being reported to him. That's the first thing. But the second thing is Biden, depending on who was in there with him and what he heard, and he says it's just not true, he may not object to them releasing the transcripts if he was clear and cogent and in opposite of what the report says. That's half full and growing because we predicted, not just me, but other Democrats have predicted that once the legislation kicks in, once inflation goes down, stock market's up, and unemployment is down, America is going to start feeling this. We're banking on them feeling it. This is the first evidence, at least one of the early evidence, that they're not only feeling it, we got nowhere to go but up.